Have you ever heard of a queen who led armies into battle? Not from the back, but from the very front lines? A queen who expanded her empire so far that she completely reshaped trade routes across West Africa? A queen whose courage became a legend, feared by her enemies, respected by warriors, and immortalized in songs, stories, and historical records. This isn't a myth. This is the story of Queen Amina of Zazzau, the warrior queen, who ruled without fear. Today we're uncovering the real story behind Queen Amina. Her rise to power, her brilliant strategies, her legendary battles, and the legacy that continues to shape northern Nigeria today. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, because the truth about her life is far more intense than any legend. Queen Amina was born in the 16th century in Zaria, in what is now Zaria in Kaduna State, Nigeria. She was born into royalty. Her grandfather had already expanded Zaria's influence, and her parents ruled with wisdom. But even as a child, Amina wasn't interested in the luxuries of the palace. While her sister Zaria preferred the calm administrative duties of royalty, Amina wanted the sword. She trained relentlessly with the palace guards, mastering military tactics and riding horses like a seasoned warrior. By the time she was just 16 years old, she commanded not just respect, but also a healthy dose of fear. Historians tell us she won the hearts of the nobles not through charm, but through sheer competence. When her mother passed away, Amina's sister became queen, but it was Amina who was named the commander of the entire army. And as a military leader, she didn't just sit in meetings planning battles from afar. She led them, in person, from the front. Amina transformed her army into a fearsome cavalry unit. At that time, cavalry was the most powerful military force in all of West Africa, and horses became her greatest weapon. With Amina at the head of the charge, her soldiers would thunder into battle, their war cry echoing across the plains. Amina, daughter of Nikatao, a woman as capable as a man. Her reputation spread like wildfire. Her enemies didn't just fear her power. They feared her very presence on the battlefield. Amina didn't ask for tribute, she demanded total surrender. Her goal was crystal clear: control the vital trade routes, expand the empire, and make Zazzau absolutely unstoppable. When her sister passed away, the nobles knew there was only one person strong enough to rule. The moment Amina became queen, she acted. There were no grand celebrations, no delays. There was only war. She immediately launched a military campaign that would last for 34 years. Her territory stretched across vast regions, including Kano, Katsina, Bauchi, Nupe, and even parts of what is now Niger. She captured major cities, seized control of critical trade routes, and built what we now know as the Amina Walls, or Gen Yor Amina. These were giant defensive walls built around her cities, and incredibly, some of them are still standing today, over 400 years later. To build something that lasts for centuries, that isn't just power, that's vision. Queen Amina lived by a simple, powerful rule: conquer fear, and the world will follow. She rejected the comforts of the throne, choosing instead to sleep in military camps alongside her troops. She ate the same food as her soldiers. She fought right beside them in the thick of battle. Her armor was said to shine under the sun as she led her charges, always with her spear in hand. Amina didn't just want to win. She wanted to dominate. Historians say that when Amina's army approached a region, markets would surrender, leaders would bow, and cities would throw open their gates. And why? because they knew that if they refused, she would take the city anyway. So what made Amina so unstoppable? It wasn't magic. It was pure strategy. She was brilliant. She expanded her empire not just through warfare, but through controlling trade. She built those incredible walls not only for defense, but also for security and taxation, allowing her to control the flow of valuable goods like gold, horses, leather, and kola nuts. Before Queen Amina, the Hausa kingdoms often traded independently, but after her they became a connected economic superpower. A single woman literally redrew the map of West Africa. Yet for all her conquests, Amina didn't rule for personal wealth. She ruled for glory. Every warrior's story has a final chapter. For Queen Amina, there are a few different versions. One says she died as she lived in the heat of battle, fighting to the very end. Another version places her death in Atagara, near modern-day Niger state. But what all historians agree on is this: she did not die peacefully on a throne. She died with a sword in her hand, and her legacy lived on through the walls she built, the trade routes she opened, and the powerful legend she became. Today, Queen Amina represents power, courage, leadership, and incredible feminine strength. A magnificent statue of her stands proudly at the entrance of the National Arts Theatre in Lagos, Nigeria. Her story is taught in schools, and her name still echoes with reverence throughout northern Nigeria. The Zimbabwean writer Beryl Fletcher once perfectly summarized her impact, saying, "Few women ruled, even fewer conquered." Amina did both. Queen Amina proved something the world still needs to be reminded of today. A great leader is not defined by gender. A great leader is defined by courage. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. We have so many more incredible African historical stories coming your way. And let me know in the comments below, which African legend should we cover next? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay curious.